yourself?
Yeah, my name is Ross DiBello. I am a new candidate for mayor, never held political office. I'm a 38-year-old Cleveland attorney. Grew up in Geauga County. A lot of my family still lives in Little Italy. I lived downtown for 6 years, worked downtown for like 11 or 12 years after law school. Live in West Park now with my wife, Lauren, and our dog. Um, After law school, I was a professional poker player for a year. Then I picked up with a woman named Cassandra Collier Williams, who ran her own law office on the east side of Cleveland, general practice. Was there from 09 to 2012. When she won her campaign in 2012, she took me with her to the Justice Center. She became a common pleas judge. I served as her staff attorney from 2012 until COVID hit, because the Justice Center is a highly trafficked area, and I had some sick elderly family members. And, there I watched felony court for 8 years, day in, day out. I handled or helped handle all the civil cases, the big money cases, many tens of millions of dollars. I don't think we ever got to $100 million, but big money lawsuits. A lot of Cleveland and Northeast Ohio big businesses. And but watching the felony court 5 days a week, many hours a day, really kind of made me start questioning the world and just being like, I don't like this. And then when we hit #1 in the nation in poverty and in child poverty, I say, I campaigned with the judge. I love campaigning. I see not a solution. You can never fix everything, but I see problems, and we live in a see something, say something culture. And so I got myself onto the ballot here to try and say, hey, these are things we need to be doing differently. And that's where we're at now.
So if you are our next mayor, how will you address the disparity in infant mortality in the Black community?
Well, the first thing stems from, trying to change City Hall, right? So that we're working on behalf of residents 100% of the time, whether it's a policy you're enacting or a deal you're doing. I think that politics and government is broken, right? We just gave $117 million to, and that's just our city taxes. We're part of the county as well. $117 million to the baseball team. I just think that that's a backward priority. Me personally, I think infant mortality and the lead paint poisoning problem should be our priorities. So, I'm not saying I would devote all 117 million to solving that disparity, but I would take a completely different mindset and approach to, our business as legislators, right? As policymakers, would more become in line with what our humanitarian priorities should be. One of the things I put on my website is I want to view the budget as a moral document. And so I just want to do business a lot differently. And I think that also demanding more of our nonprofits to answer this particular question, right? Cleveland Clinic, Metro Health, more diversity, like, Black doulas, Black women have not been, I suppose, heard or listened to by the medical field and I am not a, so this is me winging it, right? But I don't believe we've got the results that are acceptable. And so I would prioritize digging in on that as soon as elected.
What initiatives or changes to the Cleveland Metropolitan School District would you spearhead to improve both educational and career outcomes for our students?
Money's always a problem, but I want to do year-long programming, right? Arts, culture, games, reading, trips to the museum, chess, clubs, right? I want to do year-long programming, and they're starting that now with the summer experience. So I want to expand on that in school, after school, summertime, from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. I want kids to be just in a positive place, right? With a positive group of people. And I don't want to worry so much about math tests, right? Teaching to the test, what is our multiplication tables? I want to begin to create independent thinking in CMSD for our kids. I think that's where we're at right now in America. Is it's hard to know who to trust, right? With the news organizations, with these and that influences, with social media. So I want to put some meditation and yoga in the schools. I don't want to do as much suspensions or detentions, and I want to diversify all of our schools. Make sure that our kids are getting an understanding of history and culture, as because that is education, right? Diversity is education. So those are some of the things.
Okay. It's 2021. And I'm still trying to figure out why we are still discussing this issue, but what is your plan to address lead safety amongst Cleveland residents?
Yeah, I think prioritize. It's simple as that. I think if Mayor Jackson was running for a 5th term, the other 6 guys and one gal that's running, they pay it a lot of lip service. HUD or whatever put it on the map that we were among the worst in the country back in 2008. So when you say it's now 2021, how are we still talking about this? It was actually a problem before 2008. It's been a problem for 30, 40 years. You got adult people now that was brain poison, as a child. So it's just like we talked about with the 117 million for baseball, right? That's what our priorities are now. Now, and on the campaign trail, people will say different things, but yeah, we would definitely work to use this $511 million, right, to continue to demand that houses be abated for lead, small grants, work with our line. They have a hotline now that we just have to market it more, right? We have to get every kid tested. 25% of our Cleveland children are found to be poisoned, but we're not even testing them all. So we want to ramp up, make sure 100% of kids are tested. That means staffing up and funding the public health department, and the enforcement with landlords and the homes deals with ramping up and funding the legal department. So hopefully that answers your question. It's going to take a lot of work and it's going to take money, but you have to prioritize it. You can't just be doing deals with the baseball team owner.
Given the historically low spending that's come from the city to Black-owned vendors, what is your plan to invest in and support historically Black-owned businesses?
Not just the bare minimum, right? With what the Fannie Lewis law used to be, but we want to treat the city as a majority minority city, right? I think now we support a lot of suburban businesses, right? We support a lot of suburban businesses. They get a lot of our contracts, right? But what are any of the 3 teams owned by Black people, by Black individuals? No, so the Sherwin-Williams deal is another fine example, right? They give 100 million in value to a big company, and then none of the jobs go to Black contractors group. So understanding we're a majority minority city, I'm for full-blown participatory budgeting, right? Tracking every penny, and that opening it up will provide a natural level of accountability and divvying up of the pizza pie in a more fair way. So just showing all of our accounting, making it known will make sure that me, if I win, and city council will be doing business the way we should for our Cleveland residents and voters, small business owners who have kids.
How do you plan to implement crisis intervention training for all Cleveland police?
We may have to, we'll look and see if we need a new chief. We definitely need a new culture. So we'll innovate where we can innovate, and we'll mimic where we can mimic other cities who's done crisis intervention training well. I always don't want to just settle for what's the best thing now, but do bias training, right? Because we all have biases. We all have cognitive biases, not just police officers, right? So I want to teach us, I want to teach my staff, all our city employees beyond the police department, but the newest, most innovative crisis intervention training. We want de-escalation training, and we want to hire more code enforcement and mental health specialists who already know about those types of crises.
Will you agree to make access to public information easier for Cleveland residents?
Yes, I will. I am a Cleveland resident. That's kind of my why and my platform. If you really dig in and see what I'm complaining about, what my platform is, it's a mindset whereby, hey, I am in charge, right? If I lose this election, I'm actually in charge. I'm a tax-paying resident, right? When something happens that comes from the public, my bosses, right? The mayor, my councilmen, my representatives, we're supposed to serve the public. So yes, giving the public what is theirs already to begin with. And again, that comes, a natural accountability comes with that, by the way, in my opinion. The knowledge that, okay, we're starting to respond to public records requests quickly 100% of the time. The only time we wouldn't is if it were to put somebody else's life in danger or at risk. Yes, we're going to respond to public records requests, if that's the gist of your question.
And what is your stance on public comment in city council?
Full blown. I love it. You're teeing up some softballs for me. I love it. Full blown unfettered. So I've been the main guy on the train since last October. There's a separate, public activist group, Clevelanders for Public Comment. But when I launched my campaign in end of October, it was for full blown public comment at city council meetings, because I've never really wanted to be a politician, but I see all these things wrong. Well, I could never go Monday night and say, hey, councilman, hey, mayor, you got to start taking a look at this and that. You know what I mean? So not the one that they've currently proposed or put through. If I'm the mayor, or if I, and frankly, there are different mechanisms of how this is going to get changed, if it is ever going to get changed. But my change would be free speech, not limited to a certain topic. The time would be, you'll be given sufficient amounts of time to get off your chest the issue you need to get off your chest. I'm not here to, again, steal power from citizen taxpayers. If you got something on your chest, you should be able to get it off. I believe in the First Amendment. So full-blown unfettered public comment.
What has been your engagement in the Black community?
Just my history with Judge Cassandra Collier Williams. I graduated law school in 2008. She picked me up in 2009, and we delivered high-level legal services to largely Black, community. East Side, downtown was where our law office was located, like East 21st. Then we moved to East 30th. Then she taught me, to stay engaged in the community, right? So we went, it was campaigning, but it was more than that. It was fun and meaningful, and educational. We went to not every, but way more than everybody else. Parades, Democratic Ward Club meetings. I became a member in Ward 11 and Ward 17, near whereby I live. Christmas parties, holiday parties. And that was from 2009 until COVID, right? We were still doing it. So beyond when we got elected, we were still going to Phyllis Cleveland's ward, right? Joe Jones' ward. I mean, we went to all of them, I got some of my favorite pictures from all these ward clubs. So that's just how me, the judge, and her bailiff, Anthony Parker, kind of rolled, right? We went from representing the community to engaging with the community to then serving the community at the Court of Common Pleas in the Justice Center. So that was my '09 or beginning of '10 until COVID hit.
So you've got a couple of minutes now to wrap up. You give us your final statements as you speak to GPAC relative to your candidacy. What do you have to say to us as you get ready to close your final statements?
I would ask for your guys' wholehearted support. You know, I know I'm a newcomer, and that's tough sometimes to put your faith in somebody you don't know. But I'm doing this because I think politics is badly broken. I think government is badly broken. I think both parties at all three levels have really widened the wealth gap, right? Creating these problems like the sickness, the infant mortality, the poverty rate, the crime, and so I don't think traditional politicians are representing the large scale of the public, right? The 99% of us anymore. So I didn't take any donations. I didn't host a fundraiser. I got the signatures largely myself, almost 4,000 signatures to get on the ballot. I had this exact same conversation I'm having with you guys with thousands of people. I want to put in term limits. I have a full platform at my website, rossdibello.com. But this is about turning government around so that we don't represent our donor base, right? The people who fund our campaigns. We represent, the public, the 99+% of people out there. And we, start to narrow the wealth divide, start to bring crime down, start to bring infant mortality down. That's, so I would ask for people's vote and tell your family and friends if you read the platform, right? I don't have the commercials. You're not going to be getting the commercials, the yard sign with just my last name. This is an effort, right? This is a cause. I'm not trying to sell you my last name. I'm trying to kind of change all this stuff.
Mr. DiBello, thank you so much for participating in our forum. We thank you for being a part of it. It's been good watching you on the campaign trail, and we're wishing you the best. We want God to continue to have his blessings upon you as you continue to pursue your efforts to be mayor of the city of Cleveland. We look forward to seeing you again. God bless you, and thank you so much.
Bishop, thank you to you and GPAC. This is so important, and let's do it, beyond a regular basis, not just right before elections from now on, whoever wins.
Amen. God bless you. Take care.
Thank you.